Hey, love and light, family. What's happening? What's happening? Love and light. I don't know who's on here tonight. I might be on by myself. Either way, I'm gonna have a good time while I'm here. As they say, we here for a good time, not a long time. So it's gonna be a good time tonight. Um, as y'all know, many of y'all do not know, right? So I should introduce myself. Peace, love, light, and blessings. I am Zora the Explorer, your host of Grown Woman Conversations. And tonight's special topic is happens to be one of my favorite days of the week, my absolute favorite day of the week. Not really sure why Wednesday necessarily is my favorite day of the week, other than there was a commercial that I just loved. It just tickled me. I'm telling my age with that word tickled me, right? But either way, the commercial was the Hump Day commercial with the camels in the office, and it just made me laugh. So Hump Day is officially my favorite day of the week. And if you are lucky enough to follow me, be one of my friends on social media, I love to do a weekly curated meme experience of really what it's been like to date in my previous life. My current dating life is actually quite calm and beautiful, and I have a great time. But there was a time where my dating life was really hectic. So I decided today to make my topic, or to make our topics of discussion, um, about some memes that sparked my interest and were pretty funny when I first encountered them. So I'm not gonna hold y'all, and I might have a panel tonight. I might not. This is definitely a new experience for me, and there's a lot that I haven't quite figured out yet about how I even want to work, or how this is gonna be the best experience that it could be. So those of you that do check it out and do rock out with me, just know that I appreciate you and I'm grateful for you being patient, and your kind words of inspiration and critique is definitely welcome. So, with that being said, the first the first meme that I want to talk about is said, if I'm his girl, he's winning in life. And it was funny and interesting all at the same time. And I agree with the statement. One of my favorite songs is "How You Gonna Add to Me" by Lettucey. And I guess sometimes these conversations, as I always say, can become very subjective conversations. But in relationships, I think when you're dealing with people and your intentions are to be with somebody and your intentions are to grow with them and, develop a friendship or to develop a relationship, even, your intention should be for that person to win. If you plan on them being a part of your life, like seriously having somebody a part of your life, I would think that you would want them to win if they with you. And I mean, hopefully, if they wasn't winning before they got with you, at some point they're winning now, because you know, it wouldn't serve you or them for them not to win. So if you're with somebody, wouldn't you want to? Yeah, I feel like you would want that for yourself, and you would want that for your partner. And then it kind of took me down a little different of a rabbit hole, where I started thinking about, well, what would you need to do as the woman that feels like you want the guy that you're with to win? What type of woman would you need to be? And some of the quote unquote, what do you call that, like, key terms or throw around words that people use, or whatever the newest catchphrase is, like a high quality woman, so to speak, whatever, for lack of a better word. I started thinking about that, like what would that look like? Do you need to be more feminine? Do you need, like, what would your thoughts need to be centered around in order to be with the man and have the intention of, like, because this man is with me, like he winning, he always winning, because that means you're bringing something, to my opinion, you're bringing something extraordinary to the table if you feel like, if he with me, he winning. And it's definitely got to be more than just, your looks or whatever the case is. That's only gonna take you for so long and take you for so far. I mean, I don't know. I on a funnier note, I've heard some situations and looked at some situations and said to myself, clearly I am not an Instagram model, right? And again, like I said, everything is really subjective because you never really know a person's situation. So from the outside looking in, people really look like, they got it together or X, Y, and Z. And some of it is real. Some of it, is legit, wholehearted happiness. And, and a lot of people are really hurting and struggling and, trying to figure this thing out for themselves. But back to the original topic, right? He's winning in life if I'm his girl. So with that mentality, with that spirit, that definitely means that, you're the type of woman that would really even call for that type of man, like the type of man that is going to have a woman in his corner where, he's winning. That's a different type of woman. And it's always interesting when other people are involved in these types of conversations, when it's not just, one person's thoughts. It becomes very, I don't know, again, it just becomes very subjective. But I always believe that there's always two ends to a stick, right? So if you have good, you gotta have your bad. And it's the same thing in relationships, dealing with men and women. I just now believe that it doesn't have to be bad. Nothing really has to be bad about the relationship. But yeah, I guess that would mean you're a high value woman. You have to be bringing some extraordinary gifts to the table for that man to be winning. But I think the most important thing for us now, I don't know if it's because of the age, and somebody had brought this up, that why is it that women wait till they get a certain age to decide that they want to cooperate, or now they want to calm down or be different and things like that. And honestly, the odd thing is, what I know now about life, typically people are whoever they are going to be or whoever they become by the time they're 35. And by the age of 35, if you kind of haven't decided that there's some points or aspects of your life that you may need to revisit and, make some changes about, that's probably who you're going to be. Like, that's going to be your program or whatever. But I think for women, what happens is, and I can really only speak from a personal perspective on this, honestly. I can't speak for all women because no one person's experience is the same. But for me, I realized that, well, I never really realized until a few years ago how much I display my masculine side. And I display my masculine side more, I guess, maybe as a protection mechanism, partly. And then two, I've always been a tomboy. So, I've always kind of been a little rough around the edges, I guess, so to speak, and never really understood my beauty, the beauty in myself physically, the beauty in my spiritual, and the beauty in my spirituality, like the beauty in my character. I never really understood that. So my masculine side, it displayed more often than my feminine side, because my masculine side, honestly, it's that protection mechanism. Like, it's that, you know you're not gonna play, you're not just gonna play with me like that. And that's the thing about, dating and being willing to be that woman whose man is gonna win with her. Because I honestly feel like, to be that woman, there's a level of vulnerability that you have to allow yourself to display. And you can't, there is vulnerability in masculine energy, but I feel like now, I feel like you would have to be a man to understand how to navigate that distinction. Just how with women, there's a distinction in how we display our vulnerabilities and what we're willing to be vulnerable to and about, and who we're willing to be vulnerable with. But when you want to, when you're dealing with a man, somebody that you like, you're interested in seriously, and y'all are having conversations that are geared around seriously being together and creating something together, you have to be vulnerable and willing to sit down and listen and let that man be a man. Because when you used to always displaying that masculine energy, where you get up and you get it done and you take care of stuff and you just handle your business, it can prevent you from allowing yourself to be vulnerable and depend on that man to be a man for you. But hopefully you have it in you. But yeah, I think that, you know that to be that woman where your man is definitely winning with you, there's a level of vulnerability that you have to be willing to surrender to. And to get to that level, it comes with some work. It comes with some work. It comes with a lot of work. And I'm saying that because I don't know how vulnerable I'm willing to be for someone else. I'm willing to do it for myself. But I don't know if I'm at I don't know if I'm in that space just yet. Um, you know, Time will tell. Continue healing and working on yourself. I had an interesting conversation actually with somebody that I would say he's special to me, and we were having a conversation, talking about men healing and things of that nature. We talk often about mental health, and the conversation was interesting because, again, like I said, it can always be subjective because it depends on the person's experience. But the one thing that I find when you're talking about relationships and dealing with other people, even though you're talking about other people, it really all goes back to you and what are you doing to better yourself. You know, it for me, I feel like everything is just that simple. Just who are you being? Because at the end of the day, what I know for certain is people are going to be who they are. They're going to be whomever they are. And sometimes you're going to get good people and sometimes you're going to get bad people. And hopefully you have the discernment to know who's bad and who's good. And, you know, you right with yourself. But at the end of it, it still goes back to you got to look at yourself. I'm always going to say you got to look at yourself. And you really should be working on yourself. Pick 5 areas in your life that you want to see growth in, And you can't do everything at once, but you can definitely move towards something. But that's another topic. So right, I want to keep it light. I don't want to get too heavy and start preaching. So now the second meme that I saw that really made me laugh was, dating me, you can have your freedom, but. And this is always a fun, interesting topic to have amongst adults and dating adults or married adults, where like what's the limit? What's the cap on what you're allowed to do as far as having your own personal time, space, etc., in a relationship? And for me, when I was younger and dating my ex-husband, we weren't married at the time, but younger and dating my ex-husband, I just my personality, period, as a Gemini. If I'm dealing with you, I kind of want you to be all over me. Like when we together, I want you to be all over me in my face. But when we not together, I'm cool with you having your space and having your time. But I do want to know that, not that I'm your main priority, but I want to know that I am a priority. So when we're together, we're together. I guess if you threw in there some of the things that we do when we're single, like flirting and stuff like that, I feel like for me, for me, it's a no-brainer and it's quite simple. Care for me how you care for yourself. Respect me how you respect yourself. Love me how you love yourself. And I don't know, I feel like everything else is kind of just fluff. I feel like lately, in my life experiences, I feel like, and I understood it today wholeheartedly, that we really complicate things way more than they need to be with the stories that we tell ourselves. And if we could stop telling ourselves stories, everything would kind of just like, I feel like it would just mellow out. I believe everything always is working out for me. I don't care what it is, what's going on. Everything is always working out for me, and it works out in my favor. That's the only way for it to happen. So like if we dating, you can have your freedom, but it's not too many buts for me. Treat me how you treat yourself. So if you wouldn't call, a bunch of exes, if you was dating you, then don't do it to me. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but that's how I feel. Like I'm not necessarily hands tied into a relationship right now, but the person that I'm currently dating or seeing or spending time with, that's who I'm dating, seeing, and spending time with. So I really don't have any desire to try to entertain a different relationship right now. I don't really have the energy for it. And that's really the thing. You gotta be careful about who you share and open your space up to anyway. So, and especially nowadays, you really gotta pay attention to that, because and I don't even know if you could say nowadays. I feel like people probably always been weird, but it gets really weird out here in these dating streets. So you gotta pay attention. But in an actual relationship, I feel like, be you, do your thing. You don't have to do anything different for me to love you. If I love you, I'm gonna love you. Or if I'm with you, I'm gonna be with you, if that's what we're doing. And that's it. Treat me how I would treat you. Yeah, that's it. Um, now this last one is once I like you. I think it said once I like you, I'm buying whatever, whatever it is the person likes or whatever. And I found that interesting because, right, it's not always from a woman's perspective, but I can't really speak because I'm not a man from a man's perspective, but men do it as well. As a woman, I will buy gifts, but my gift giving, if I like you, I'm more sentimental than I am like just like big random, gifts like people like to show on social media or whatever, you know, like so the last guy that I was in a serious relationship with, he couldn't dress. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like that's just the truth. He really, at least in my opinion, he really didn't know how to put it on like that. So, you know, I was like, fuck it. I bought him some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because we going out. I don't want you looking crazy. And I really didn't trust him too tough to dress the way I necessarily wanted him to dress. So I would just buy little stuff here and there. Like we was taking a little trip together. So I was like, oh, babe, I bought you this. Not really, like, not trying to insult him or nothing like that. But that's what I did. So honestly, if I like you, I'm cool with buying little gifts. I don't mind, saying to my guy, like, yo, let's go out to dinner. It's my treat or whatever. I don't have a problem with that. Some women will be like they do, but they do the shit anyway. They just be fronting, acting like they don't be buying shit, but they do. Even bad bitches, they be buying shit too. Don't don't get caught up with the hype. I think we've all done it. But I like to buy like little gifts. Like I'll do shit like one. I was digging on this dude. We was talking, kicking it, whatever, and he had mentioned that he liked fruity pebbles or some shit. So I was in the grocery store shopping, and I bought him a box of fruity pebbles, and I wrapped it up in a gift. Like it was cute. I was trying to be cute and feminine. So I had bought him a box of fruity pebbles and gift wrapped it and gave it to him, and he thought it was sweet. He digged it or whatever. So I guess that was a plus on my end. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I haven't done that really too much. Um, Buying men gifts or whatever. I was married for some time, so that don't, I guess that don't count because shit, that's your husband. So why wouldn't you buy your husband gifts? Um, yeah, and well, no, if I was with the guy, I bought him a gift. Like I remember I bought a boyfriend. He was into well, he could dress. So, and it was Christmas, and we decided we were gonna exchange gifts with each other. And so I had bought him a sweatsuit from the Ralph Lauren factory. It wasn't a bunch of money, but it was a nice sweatsuit either way. Um, yeah, so I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that I think it's cool for women to spend money on their men. I ain't saying take care of them or nothing like that, but I feel like if he a good dude and he do nice shit for you, why can't you do nice stuff for him? Shit, men like to be that what is it, doted on or whatever. They enjoy that, and I honestly, as a woman of a man that's doing what men do for women, you know, I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. Um, I don't think you should do it necessarily all the time. But you do get men that really look for women to take care of them. It's shocking. I know. It, it was shocking to have discovered it. um, you know, but I feel like when it comes to dating, really the thing is to change your intentions. Put your intentions around what you really want. And if you really are looking for, if you not even looking, if you really want a partner in life, everything that I've read, researched, and watched videos on, et cetera, everything says the same thing. Work on yourself. That's really what it is. Like, everything really boils down to you working on yourself. Just asking yourself those hard questions when you getting upset about shit. Really asking yourself, what the hell am I upset about? Like, really thinking about it. Like, for example, today, right, I got a text message like, oh, I need to see you in my office. And initially, for a hot second, I thought to myself, like, what the, this is some bullshit. And then I thought about it. I said, well, what the fuck are they really going to say? That you were late? You know you was late. And you know you probably going to be late tomorrow. So why the fuck are you even thinking about this shit? And I let it the fuck go, and I went on about my day. And when I had the meeting, it really just was a miscommunication, and everybody walked away happy. Like, literally, none was the wiser. So my point is just that it's really just gonna be you know. And when you say things that are really that plain and simple, we want it to be so much more, and it's not. There is nothing else. It's you. I told my cousin this, and I told a coworker, a colleague. I was like, yo, I said I was really sitting at my desk, and I said to myself, it's me. I'm the problem. I'm the problem. So ain't nobody gonna do nothing different. For people to do something different for you, that requires a condition. They have to meet this condition or meet that expectation. Um, for you to want to be, or for you to deal with them or whatever. And the odd thing is like, well, aren't you like contradicting yourself? And honestly, no, because the condition of it is me trying to control something. If it's unconditional, there's nothing that has to change in this situation for me to remain who I am. So that's the unconditional part of it. You know what I'm saying? You trying to control or tell somebody what they gonna do, how they gonna do it, when they should do it, with all of that shit. That's all conditional. And it's one of the hardest things for us to do as humans, is to deal with each other unconditionally. Everything is a condition with each other. And I guess when you start to understand that, that's kind of when you start to move differently, because nobody really likes conditions. I don't like to be controlled. I've never, as a kid, I will always say to my mother, like always say to my parents, could you just go ahead and whoop me and get it over with? Because that was the thing, right? Whoop your kids, spare the rod, spoil the child, right? So my whole thing was always, could you just whoop me and be done with this shit, so I don't have to really deal with anything after this? You whoop me, I cry, it hurt, I'm mad, and it is done. I can still go outside because that's all I cared about anyway. So, but the punishment aspect of it, me having to sit still and be in my room, and I can't talk on the phone, I can't go outside and play, I can't ride my bike, I can't, like, me having to be on punishment, that was the worst to me, right? And that was because I was forced to deal with who? I was forced to deal with myself. I was forced to deal with myself. So that's really the thing with these relationships. We gotta really get used to first really dealing with yourself. Before you jump into it, know what you want. And it's all right if what you want changes. And if you want changes, let the person know that, you know what, I don't think this is really what I want. And sometimes that's a hard conversation to have. But if you respect yourself, you love yourself, you will give that to the person that, you know, you were trying to develop something with, if it no longer serves. And understanding that it no longer serves is the greatest key, honestly, to your joy and your happiness, because it's nobody else's job but yours. So, with a half an hour in on my first solo podcast, I just want to say thank you to my 3 viewers. Next time, please. And I should have said this while I was talking, but I was kind of in the zone. Definitely, I would love for folks to join in, jump in on the conversation on YouTube. Um, I think maybe next Wednesday we'll be back, same time, same place. I'm gonna work on focusing on maybe developing a panel, a co-host, something type vibe like that. I don't know, it's some things to think about, but I'm excited to get creative. And I just want to say thank you for joining me. I hope that you laughed a little bit, you felt inspired, you enjoyed my stories, and I'll definitely continue to work to get better and be better because I'm having a good time doing this. So I'm looking forward to being back with y'all. Thank you for joining me. Love, light, and peace. Have a beautiful rest of the week. Be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. Be compassionate to yourself. Love on yourself. Whatever it is you need to do to feel better, that's what you do to feel better. I love you. Peace. Thank you for joining me.